Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Okay, I did a little change. I'm moving the camera right here back to where I kind of used to put it. It's probably a little bit better. I will have to pay close attention, make sure I take a look at the camera every now and then, especially if I'm doing live stream. But so for now, I'm recording. Welcome to another episode of Updating the Precons. So here we have the green-white adventure deck. Okay, so normally when we think of adventures, we think of Temur colors. Well, we got the green right here, but we also usually pair it with red, we pair it with blue. We do busted things with the Fae of Wishes and all that jazz. But here, at least they're giving us a semblance of the deck. For one, the things they did right: 3 copies of Edgewall Innkeeper, 2 copies of Lucky Clover. We definitely will bump this up to 4 when we do the revision. But let's see what are the payoffs they give us. Aside from the really good white adventure, so we have Gift of the Fae, extra bonus, extra flying. So we are quite aggro here. Shepherd of the Flock, a way to protect our stuff. Silver Flame Squire, more pump action. I might rather have the green one though, because sure, this is a good way to get something cheap, and in fact it might be correct to not play the adventure part first, especially if we're trying to trigger draw cards off the Innkeeper. We got Ardent Veil Tactician, Limited All-Star. Not so sure if this will translate well to Constructed, but if we can put enough pressure, that's fine. We have Primal Might as our rare, Giant Killer as our rare, excuse me. Lovestruck Beast, very good rare. We got Realm Cloak Giant as our mythic and our emergency reset button. Our real payoffs here are, let's see, Mysterious Pathlighter. Each creature you control that... So this one gives +1/+1 counters to our creatures with adventure. Then Wandermare gets +1/+1 counters whenever you play a creature spell that has half adventure. So we also have Garenbrig Squire as a payoff, but this is probably the weakest one of the bunch. The Squire is probably going to get cut. No matter how much you carry Yorvos Hammer, it's not going to quite cut it. Oakham Ranger is also a big question mark here. We can easily cast this, but 4 mana for a sorcery that gives us +2/+2, and it's not even the flat effect. You have to tap to give creatures you control +1/+1. So sorry, 2/1/1 human creature tokens and +1/+1 on tap. Not so great. Our strange rares also. Iron Scale Hydra. It's actually a good way to gum up the board. It's pretty decent in Brawl. And Victory's Envoy. Yet another way to give +1/+1 counters. There are a few cards that do this job better. As always, we will definitely bump up the temples, which might conflict with our... Well, not so much. You really want to play the adventure half of Fairy Guide Mother. You are okay with just playing this as a straight 3/1. This is... The emergency exit part is not... It's not mandatory. Silver Flame Squire, again, you're kind of okay, though. This is very poor for a 2-drop, just 2/1. And the adventure half not so inspiring. We'll give this one a try. We'll see what are which ones are big performers. Where do we win? Where do we lose? And as always, I made the duplicate right in advance so that I don't have to mess up the actual one. I do plan to revisit these decks again when Zendikar Rising comes out. Plenty of interesting cards that we get to put in now. The modal dual face cards, those are... It's gonna redefine mana bases for quite a while. So we will see how much that will change. Landfall will have a bit of an effect also, especially now that... Well, it's more for limited, though. Constructed, we do get away with cutting... Yeah, we get away with cutting lands, definitely Constructed. Landfall, so far the green-red one is the one that's exciting. There's a new Minotaur. That one is very exciting, albeit at Mythic. Party Mechanic. We'll have to list everything out. Okay, so we do have an interesting setup. Turn 1 Innkeeper, turn 2 Innkeeper, turn 3 Pathlighter, turn 4 Tactician. Or Innkeeper, Tactician straight, because we do need to draw cards. And right off the bat, we get a non-game. Well, I guess that's what happens in the play side. Well, let's try that again. And I hate our opponent for ruining that test, but can't be helped. Could be an emergency, could be a disconnect or whatnot. Let's try that again. So what else are we looking? So yeah, we definitely have to list out the creatures that we want to put in. There's a definite +1/+1 counter team here, so we'll see if we can take advantage of that. I definitely want to. I want to take advantage of the adventure part also. We're definitely going to bump up Lovestruck Beast, even if it's just 2 more copies. What other... Does White have a rare adventure? I'm trying to think. It'll be weird if White doesn't have a rare adventure. But here we go. So whenever you cast a creature spell that has an adventure, so... Unfortunately, we're not going to go Heart's Desire quite yet. We'll definitely lead off Blossoming Sands, Garen Break Squire, then we'll start piling on the... Then we'll start piling down the good stuff. It does give merit to Garen Break Squire, common payoff as it is, because it's 2 mana for a 2/2. In fact, it's probably better than the adventure half. The other Squire. We might actually just fill this out. If we can actually get to cast spells. Opponents are... There's also a benefit that Garen Break Squire is so unassuming that no one's well, there's a frantic inventory. This could be a mill deck, so we might be in real trouble. Especially if we don't hit lands, we're in real trouble. If we start hitting lands... Also, the Fairy Guide Mother is actually a good combo with Lovestruck Beast. It's base 1/1. It's gonna be weird when you start putting +1/+1 counters. Oh, it's the Fairy... Okay, so this is the mill deck again. So we will get some beatdown in, but it's a question of... We definitely want another mana though. Okay, opponent bin Storm's Wrath. Oh, there's our mana. What the hey? So we will assume that we will lose. Oh, come on! That's all our mana, dude. But definitely, cards like Victory's Envoy is gonna get the boot. Wandermare. I'm actually deciding which one of these two is better. Sure, Wandermare can go tall, but this is vulnerable to... Oh, we're still getting... Okay, we lost our Realm Cloak Giant. It's unfortunate that Adventure is not Embalm. And there's even more of our mana. Okay, we got a Lucky Clover at least. But we definitely will not run out Heart's Desire for Lovestruck Beast. And even more mana. Yeah. It was sketchy, but it got even more sketchy the moment our opponent was Teferi's Tutelage. If our opponent does Storm's Wrath now, it's fine actually. Okay, now we finally hit the mana. Unfortunately, the other half is green. But I will play Wandermare anyway. I do want another white source so I can... Well, there it goes. Just watching all those sources run away. We are close to half. Opponent hits a second Teferi's Tutelage. Now it's gonna go really fast. We need to start piling damage really quickly, and cross our fingers our opponent doesn't have Scorching Dragon Fire. That's even more lands. My kingdom for a land. What the heck? Yeah, it also... Okay, we did hit our land. Let's see if our opponent actually has a response. It'll be annoying if it turns out our opponent does. No, probably doesn't have a response. Okay, 7-5. Getting it in for 8. I'm assuming our opponent has another Storm Strat, so I'm gonna hold off on the Lovestruck Beast for now. Brazen Borrower would be so annoying, but thankfully not there yet. So we'll pass for now. Let's put an onus on our opponent to respond to this. So more lands, more payoffs. There goes our Innkeepers. I think our opponent's probably gonna try to dig for okay, that's 8 cards. We're down to 17. Technically, yeah, there's a Storm Strat. So our opponent did ditch one storm, so there's literally one possible storm left. Okay. Actually, we're probably still dead though, because our opponent draws a card, we lose 4. Another card draw spell, yeah, kind of does us in. If he just goes for a Wrath, like, we're down to 12 cards, so Cathartic Reunion, that's 6 cards. We'll be down to 6. Oh no, we are down to 12. Okay, that's a good game. And we got stalled out way too early on lands. If we were able to get lands a little bit sooner, we might have had a better fighting chance. We were actually very close. We were kind of one hit away. But yes, we need to have a lot of cheaper stuff. We need to have a lot of early plays. Lovestruck Beast is a very good early play. Garen Briggs Squire was a fine play. It did force out the Storm Strat, so I might reconsider booting that one. What are the not so great plays? The Hybrid Adventure, yeah, the 4-mana hybrid adventure guy. That's not he's not gonna pan it. So turn 1 Blossom. Okay, definitely gonna try to run into Wandermare. I actually want Wandermare with Shepherd of the Flock backup, but I might as well just play Shepherd of the Flock right here and there unless I draw something better. Nope, didn't draw anything better. Let's play it out. Opponent plays Essence Symbiote, so we'll offer the trade. It's gonna be annoying because our opponent will gain life for every. Our opponent's gonna gain life for every mutate. Here comes Migratory Greathorn. That said, if our opponent doesn't attack, I could just play Oakham Ranger straight. Oh, wait. No, if I played straight up, it's just a +1. So this has to be 4/5. Opponent probably doesn't. Oh, it's gonna swing. Okay. I don't think this is worth racing. I definitely have to play Edgewall Innkeeper now. I might skip the. I'm gonna skip the adventure half. We're gonna race because our opponent's gonna be all in on this one creature. They're 1 mana away from Auspicious Starix. Another Essence Symbiote to gum up the board. Probably another Greathorn to buff this up even further. So we have a real race here. Our opponent, actually very smart. Spreading the love. So this is a 6/6. None of these have reach. No Lucky Clover. Okay, we're definitely not cut. If we're gonna see a lot of... Oh, it's exact! Yeah, if we're definitely gonna see a lot of mutate, I think we will keep Ardent Veil Tacticians. Only 3 mana base. The Occam Ranger is still questionable though. Wow, that was out of the blue. Okay, I'll take that. It's a nice surprise. So let's see. I guess we'll do about 1 or 2 more games. Then we definitely the Occam Ranger's gonna go. Garen Briggs Squire is questionable. The Silver Flame Squire is more likely to go because neither half is exciting. I might replace it with Garen Briggs Carver. That one has a cheap pump effect. We lose out on the untap, but we still get the flat +2/+2. That's fine. I'm trying to remember all the cards with adventure now off the top of my head. Flaxen Intruder, that's actually a cheap one. We'll have to sneak it through if we want to destroy artifacts and enchantments. We're not likely to get tree bears off Goldilocks. So definitely keeping this. Blossoming Sands, Double Edge Wall into Double Innkeeper into Fairy Guide Mother. Let's see what our opponent's response is. At least if I go this sequence, I will at least be able to draw a card. Yeah, Giant Killer. It's actually very interesting, especially in the face of all these mutate decks. It's looking like we're gonna hit one right now. And let's draw our 2 cards. And we got a Banishing Light. Yeah, we're definitely keeping the Banishing Light, that's for sure. We're just waiting for our opponent to mutate into something with about 4 power so we can get the Giant Killer online. Otherwise, I might just Lucky Clover. Opponent goes Stone Coil Serpent. Okay, setting the board up. It has reach though, so... I'm actually gonna take out the Polywalk Symbiote. I know our opponent's about to... Let's say and we have Shepherd of the Flock as an emergency switch. So at this rate, we're probably not going to get... Yeah, we're probably also gonna bump up the Giant Killers as well if we're gonna see a lot of mutate decks. It's very... Scavenging Ooze. Okay, not quite. Opponent's not gonna hit. I could just bounce the Banishing Light, reset it on the Scavenging Ooze. No, we'll leave it there. Okay, got a Primal Might, so this has reach. Yeah, Fairy Guide Mother doing all the work. If our opponent manages to get a bunch of big stuff, we might even be able to Lucky Clover. Okay, so... Probably should have held back on 1 so that we could bounce this back, but that's okay. We got our target now. Definitely taking the hit. So it's a question of... What our point? Okay, point doesn't do anything. Never cast an adventure creature spell that has an adventure. Okay, we need... Let's see if our... I'll be annoyed if our opponent has a way to protect this. Usually they don't because they're so all in on mutate. So I'm going to actually play the Giant Killer now. Let's draw some cards. It might also force our opponent to find an answer to this. But it's also forcing us to find an answer to our own stuff too. Okay, put on our land. The Shepherd's actually a good way to reset the Giant Killers, so I'm probably going to keep Shepherd after all. Like, we don't have that many removal spells, and this is not so... So having cards like this is going to be important. Resetting Lovestruck Beast is fine. Resetting a Fairy Guide Mother is also relevant. This only taps, but that's still relevant as well. Let's see what our opponent does. Auspicious Starix, so return target permanent you control, so we can't do anything about that. We can tap it down though. So we'll see what our opponent hits. Fortunately, it's just... So fortunately, it's just one. Hits a land. Okay, opponent can see what's going to happen now. So I kind of want to cast these, but no real rush. So I'm actually going to cast Mysterious Pathlighter first. Let's give ourselves something that flies. I could cast the Giant Killer now. In fact, I will. Just to draw up more cards. Okay, Ardent Veil Tactician's good. Yeah, opponent's gonna have to rebuild that board again. Another Symbiote. Starix again is plausible. Oh, Boneyard Lurker. That's a way to get stuff back. We can kind of ignore it though. In fact, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna save Ardent Veil Tactician. Actually, no. We're gonna yeah, I'm gonna... So... Play the horse. So many triggers. Okay, need something more. Squire is not there, so we're gonna save the Ardent Veil Tactician. No, we can't save Ardent Veil Tactician. So tap this down. Take our opponent down to 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay, does our opponent have removed? Okay, Brazen Borrower. That's actually still fine. So opponent's definitely gonna go for Starix. Okay, we're gonna see what they hit. It'll be annoying if they hit an Ugin after all this. Probably returns Gem Razor, I guess. That gives them a free mutate. Yeah, they'll probably return Gem Razor. So they will definitely answer the Giant Killer given the choice. Oh, they're returning the Stonecoil Serpent. Interesting. They hit lands, so they kind of... So another whiff, thank goodness. Turns out we didn't actually have to play the Lucky Clover. Well, it's because a lot of our effects don't... Well, Fairy Guide Mother, this one scales really well. Opponent's probably gonna hold back. One, two, three, four. Yeah, there you go. Opponent concedes there. So, okay. We definitely want to keep the Lucky Clover, but I'm questioning making it the 4-off. It's not so proactive. We're not exactly running Brazen Borrower. We're not running Bone Crusher Giant. We're not running the universal ones. It's great with it is still great with Lovestruck Beast. It's still great with it's great with many of the other white stuff, but it's not so important. Maybe you could just get away with 3 copies. So yeah, I guess we've learned enough. We're gonna start taking a look at our version 2. So we're gonna make several edits here and there. First off, these guys gotta go. They're not super relevant. I'm still willing to keep the Realm Cloak Giant, but let's also take a look. What exactly are the good adventure cards? Okay, there's a unicorn that gives us tokens, so that's a maybe. Definitely want 4 copies of Innkeeper. Curious Pair makes food tokens. Do we have any food synergies? Not so much. I did say that, yeah, I'm gonna cut the 2 squires in favor of 2 carvers. Beanstalk Giant's a good way to get the top end. It's also actually, it actually pairs well with the Realm Cloak Giant in that it doesn't die, so... And it pairs well with Lucky Clover as well. So, let's at least make 3 copies of Lucky Clover. I'm still not convinced about maxing it out yet. We're cutting the Occam Ranger. That's a weak one. We're gonna up Lovestruck Beast by 2. We're gonna up the Giant Killer by... We have 3 copies of Banishing Light. I'm willing to leave it at that. Okay, so between the Pathlighter and Wandermare, I think I'll keep it on Pathlighter. So we'll cut the Wandermares, add 1 more Pathlighter so we can readjust the mana later. Garrett Brick Squire. I'm willing to give it a chance, so we'll leave it there. Let's add some Beanstalk Giants. At least 2 copies. We might need some ramp at least. The Tree Folk, not so much. Okay, let's take a look at all our +1/+1 counters. So in particular, we have Conclave Mentor. So whenever we get stuff with +1/+1 counters, we get to... Oh, we also probably should turn on these filters. So it's really just Wandermare and Conclave Mentor. So I'm willing to give the Conclave Mentor a try. It combos well with the Mysterious Pathlighter, but it might also be very unnecessary. This is... And let's see. When it dies, you gain life equal to its power. I think it's not necessary. Let's skip that one. What are the other options? Bronze Hindline, not so much. Frontland Felidar. We're not a Vigilance deck. So that kind of puts a kibosh on things. We're actually literally just all in on adventures at this point. I probably might just max out the Banishing Light if there's a way to make it... Well, we have other ways of getting counters, but we're not that kind of counter deck. We can increase our survivability rating by adding Daxos. That does put a huge damper on the ground. We do have space for another Mythic. And we are... If I were to say cut the green card, some of the green cards, let's max out the Shepherd of the Flock. We're maxing out Fairy Guide Mother for sure. Ardent Veil. Ardent Veil's fine as a 2. Mysterious Pathlighter's fine as a 3. Lovestruck Beast is fine as a 3. Would Heliod be a good fit here? It's kind of relevant. Shame we don't have a way to make +1/+1 creatures unless we add the appropriate castle. So we'll consider that. Basri Ket is also another one that's relevant. So it's between Heliod and Basri. Let's try Basri. Also, giving Indestructible is going to be quite intriguing here. Then again, do we really... Is it really about the +1/+1 counter? So, because neither of these are looking great. Let's check green. What could we add in its stead? Scavenging Ooze is something you typically add. We're not exactly drawing multiple cards, so... Well, we are drawing cards off Innkeeper, so Jolrel is a possibility. Cultivate, no, we're running Beanstalk Giant instead. Garruk Unleashed. Nylea makes the creature half cheaper. And we can actually dig for adventures this way. But it does make us want to lean more towards green than white. And we're kind of leaning heavy on white at this point. There's a Rose-Thorn Acolyte to fix our mana. Actually, this might be fine. I'm just torn between Basri and Heliod. Then again, Heliod's likely to survive longer, although we're not likely to get that one up. Yeah, I guess we stick with Basri. I'm not too convinced of Garruk, and Basri gives survivability in the form of indestructible, so we'll put that as our second. Could also just put a Shatter, but no, 9 lives. It's interesting. Let's put Basri. Why not? Idol of Endurance is also another way to buy back. Well, if I didn't make the switch on these, I could use Idol of Endurance to buy back a lot of the ones that get killed. That's actually fine. So we'll leave it at that for now. We're definitely gonna fix the mana base. Yeah, 12/7's a better fit. First off, 4x Fabled Passage. Oh wow, I'm so gonna run out of wild cards buying temples for all of these. Then again, yeah, I'll buy the temples. We'll cut 2 of the Blossoming Sands because Life Gain is not a thing for us. How many lands are we running? 24. Okay, so I'm still short 1 card. Definitely want to add a Castle Arden Vale. Oh wait, there it is. So cut 1. Wait, what's our land count? 23. Oops, bring that up. 24. We already maxed out on Guide Mother. Yeah, we're super all in on adventure at this point. I don't mind having Daxos as a backup plan here. Basically, we use Daxos, we play some stuff, regain some life. Although we are playing more, we want to have the option of the adventure half. Actually, I'm fine with playing Daxos. Let's put at least a copy of Daxos in. If we're gonna do that, actually, we'll replace it with Heliod after all. Maybe you can add a few more copies of Daxos, at least a second one. What would I cut in its stead? Probably the Beanstalk Giant. We're actually running on the lower curve. So, yeah, and we filtered more to a 9/4. So, yeah, we'll craft. Oh, gonna miss those rares, right? But we're gonna craft all those. So, how do I feel about this deck? Got actually quite a lot of 1s, 2s, and 3s, so we're quite fine there. Very heavy in creatures. Oh wait, no, I do. Wait, I have a Huatli. Yeah, so we'll give this version a go. We'll see how much more aggressive we can get. That's pretty much the plan. And we're gonna change the. Oh yeah, we don't. We're actually not running. Siona doesn't fit. Fabro Elder does not fit. Bronze Hide Lion, no, it doesn't really fit. Oh well. So much for that, I guess. Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. So to Adventure version 2. We'll try and play a few games, see if we've made that deck better or somehow worse. Yeah. I guess if you think of it, if it was so hard for us to fit cards that were not adventures, imagine how it is for the Temur Adventure deck. Then again, that deck is definitely all adventure. I guess the only advantage we have is that we are not so reliant on a Lucky Clover turn 2. So here we go. We have no idea what our opponent's running. We might just Love Struck Beast turn 1. Pump with Fairy Guide Mother turn 2. Just get some aggro beats going. We are in need of lands though, so that might be a problem. Okay, thankfully our opponent does not have a shock. This one really should be an emergency card, but oh, we're running into knights. We hit our land, but we hit another question. Do we actually want to draw cards? I'll play Pathlighter for now. We got ourselves a Garen Brick Carp. Yeah, because we're so much in need of lands, I'm willing to let the Stormfist Crusader live a bit. If our opponent drops something really relevant, I will just drop the Vanishing Light. This could be a Murderous Rider. No. Oh, so it's the Super Menace. Interesting, interesting. Let's see if our opponent instinctively blocks. Well, that's correct. It's a good thing we have an alternate play. Yes, I'm holding off the Giant Killer for now. I'm assuming our opponent has a way to grow it. Oh. Well, we'll still hold it off nonetheless. We're not exactly blocking any of these guys. We do have a Lucky Clover now, so Lucky Clover, Garen Brick Carver. That gives us a really big boost. It's a question of what else our opponent has. So far, this is just our opponent has to have a way to pump their stuff, which is Cauldron. Okay, that's the opposite. That's a way to sack their stuff. Do they have Claim the Firstborn? Tentative Connection, so gain control. Okay. We're not blocked. So 2, 4. We're taking 6, and they're gonna sack that. Go down to 10. Sacks, draws a card. We go down to 9, they go down to 11. Having to do some math here. Okay, there's a ship. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe I'm better off just playing this one first. Okay. And we still have Emergency Shepherd if we have to, so we'll swing with the one creature that we don't want to die. And we can also kind of blank their Tentative Connection with the Shepherd of the Flock at least. Also makes it interesting. We can play Lucky Clover, Heart's Desire again. There's another thing here. So we're gonna go down to 5 though. That's a problem. So we really need a big hit. They're gonna go down to 10. 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh. Then we can't exactly block either. Two, 4, 6, 8. I could just wipe the board, save myself. So let's see, when it becomes blocked, so when it blocks it's not an issue. Let's swing first. Don't forget we actually have a reset switch. Also, tentative connection is a problem because we can't just rely on our low CMC. Village rights. Okay, that's... So at least we stabilize somewhat. I might actually just rather have a second realm if that becomes an issue. So if we can play Banishing Light, but it just gets blanked by the Witch's Cauldron, that's fine. I am of course going to target this, so they draw a card, so that's fine. The gain a life, not so fine, but we'll swing first. Play Lovestruck Beast. Okay, since our opponent has tentative connections... Oh wait, they can't kill us with this yet. But I'll still play a Giant Killer just in case. Then next turn, Lucky Clover, Woe Strider into a Hunted Nightmare with Menace. Put a Death Touch counter on a creature you control. So the interesting thing is we can actually just tap this. Opponent has a tentative connection, but can't attack. Because you don't have a one... Oh, he can sacrifice it. That's fine. That's fine. At least we did not get beat down by it. So, Garen Break, Lucky Clover. That's their third tentative connection. Okay, if I played this... It's actually quite annoying. Especially if they finally hit their playset, but that's fine. So they yeah, we want them to pare the board down enough so that we can sneak in with a massive Garen Break Carvers. I'm concerned about letting this through, but because our opponent potentially has a way to damage us, I definitely will tap Hunted Nightmare with Giant Killer. Playing the Firstborn. I'm gonna block with this one anyway. Ember Cleave. Ooh, wow. Hold on, which one does he target? So that makes it 4... Oh, wait. I will still take damage, true, but... Oh, but... Yeah, the Ember Cleave's gonna be a problem. I have... And I have no creatures on board. This has Menace, so I am forced to play multiples. And if our opponent just makes us a 5/6, that's it. Yeah, we needed one more land so that we could do the buff trick again. But yeah, this one didn't quite pan out this time. I wouldn't have been able to do the... No, I had one extra mana, so I could have still done the trick with the Squire. Maybe we go back to... Let's go back to Silver Flame Squire. It's also easier on our mana too. It's like... Silver Flame Squire, that's an SI, right? Yeah, there you go. Then I suppose I just cut one Daxos, add another Silver Flame Squire. So that said, well, Heliod would have been interesting. We would have been able to buff our way through that. I think another consideration is we could have used the Banishing Light a lot sooner. But yeah, that Menace deck is interesting. Basically, for claim the Firstborn plus some tentative connection, and you just need a single Menace creature to get the discount. Okay, not so great. We do have a Temple of Plenty to help us scry into someone with an adventure, but we do have the potential for Temple 1, Innkeeper 2, or Clover 2. I think we'll do Innkeeper 2. Innkeeper 2, possibly Pathlighter 3. I actually don't want another Innkeeper. We will run the Temple again though. This might be a ramp style deck, so we might be... Okay, we did hit the Lovestruck Beast at least. This has blue, so that concerns me. Yeah, we'll keep the Castle Ardenvale on top. We'll run Edgewall Innkeeper first. If this gets countered, it's fine. I'd rather this get countered than... Ooh. Okay, this might actually be the back for more style deck. So basically, they just cycle big stuff and buy it back. Mire Triton, even more stuff to mill. I will definitely play the Heart's Desire half, so knowing that, Lucky Clover loves Heart's Desire. Also weird that the picture changes the moment you drag it onto the stack. So we're not gonna offer the trade. Mysterious Pathlighter is an option. It's also possible our opponent just... Well... These are all humans, so Witch's Vengeance is a... Let's see what their next big card is. Carrion Grub. So, greatest power among... Oh, so that combos straight with the Titanout. Okay. We'll keep the Innkeeper up now this time. So next turn, I probably just play the other Innkeeper, then just drop the Lovestruck Beast. Liliana, Waker of the Dead. Let's see. Target creature gets -X. Discards a card. Okay, we discard Blossoming. We'll play Ardenvale next. I do want to run Pathlighter, but it's kind of overkill here. And we need the cards. Kind of wasting our time here, but Yeah, we want to get rid of the Mire Triton eventually so that our Love Struck Beast can hit, so... Opponent probably just does the -X/-X. It'll be weird if he does in the Innkeeper, but I guess that's fine. Extinction Event chooses... Okay. So it's a good thing we kept these guys up. I'll discard the land.
We're doing
Okay,
things my
done
way.
another land. But now we're in serious top deck mode. Any means of getting card draw is important. That's why the Innkeepers were so great. But now we're in a position where, thankfully, that was Extinction Event, so our opponent will need about 2 more to between this and this. Carrion Grub. We can gum up the board at least. They actually have an Uro, but no blue mana. I would love to draw the Giant right about now. Okay, take 3. It's another Pathlighter. No, we'll send both onto Liliana. We're gonna use the human. We'll probably use Castle Ardenvale until they can land Trample. Please no Surprise Trample. Okay, no Surprise Trample. Fully grown, that would have been really bad. Carrion Grub again. At least our good news is that they're having a problem with mana. Now we're kind of off to the races, but the moment they hit blue mana, wow, that's gonna be real problems. Okay, so far we've been dodging that. I guess it. I kind of wish Miss Ixalan's Binding. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will take 5, so we're not playing the Lucky Clover. The moment we have to dodge an Uro as well. Okay, now we have to dodge an Uro. Opponent goes up to 12. If we can... Okay, now dodging... Because it's not quite the end. Oh, back for more. Fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Oh, it's going for the big one. So, snipes the Pathlighter. But now we have to start dodging Uros afterwards. But we just need a way to kill these two. Banishing Light is actually fine. Okay, maybe playing that Lucky Clover is a mistake. We're not exactly into multiples. Opponent's definitely gonna Uro out, so... Unless we can draw one of our cards that buffs our creatures, we're not gonna win. So, knocking on wood that we can draw one of our... One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to, yeah, the Daxos came awfully late. So they're now back to 9 again. So... Our opponent does have the option to just redo it again so they can stay at 12 life. Oh yeah, that would have killed it. Yeah, that was meaningless. I think their opponent's gonna do that. Just stay at a comfortable 12. No amount of pump I have will keep us alive. Yeah. What were the cards we had to discard? Yeah, and we had to deal with the carrion grub. Nope, good game. So far, not looking so great. Maybe we could cut the Lucky Clovers all. The Lucky Clover's nice. Maybe we could cut it all together in favor of other effects. Like, we had to also survive 2 extinction events, if I'm not mistaken. No, we just 1 extinction event, but that one's quite brutal. We're gonna make we're probably gonna ditch the Daxos part. It's nice if we could get early, but it's so horrible late game. So, and that goes. So does Heliod. We need something more proactive. So, Containment Priest. Well, a lot of the stuff we're casting is at kind of at instant speed anyway. Okay, just 2 Containment Priests. I don't want to put too many. And as far as removal, another Banishing Light should be fine. Yeah, yeah, just keep making changes as we go. Containment Priest is going to be interesting if we... Well, it won't help us in the Mutate matchup. It will, but it does help us against the Uro matchup and by extension the Croxa matchup. So, okay, if that pans out, we might actually just add a few more priests, but that's putting us closer to human territory. This is not exactly keepable. We need the green mana eventually. We'll mulligan this. Okay, this is more keepable. We can cut. Actually, just cut the Pathlighter. So we'll run out the forest first. We might actually just play a regular Silver Flame Squire. Shepherd of the Flock's better, but we're more likely to play the Usher to safety compared to... Well, if we draw another land, that might make us reconsider. Okay, we did not, so... Silver Flame Squire. Let's give our opponent something to hit with the shot. Oh no, this is probably the spells type version. Also, being tagged on mana is a problem. When we go Scorching Dragonfire. I could just let it die. No, let's annoy our opponent. Opponent's also stuck, so we can take advantage of that. We'll just play the Shepherd this time. If they want the Scorching Dragonfire this guy now, then that's probably fine. This is a Thunder Raptor, okay. So this is definitely blue-red spells. We really need to hit that one more land. Okay, we hit it now. Another Scorching Dragonfire. Opponent really loves their burn. Opponent finally hits their land. Yeah, all this 2 mana burn. It's actually a liability for us. So spread the love. Yeah, opponent just is really in on that all burn hand. So we're expecting a Sprite Dragon soon. Or not. Tempted to drop the Inkeep. Let's swing first. Let's see if our opponent has a combat trick of sorts. Brazen Bower, Flash Flying. that can't really block it, you know. Yeah, you can't. Start drawing cards. Okay, at least we have a backup innkeeper. Next turn, opponent plays Wingward, so the opponent needs to start drawing. Is trying to draw cards too. Opt. No Arclight Phoenix here, thank goodness. But our opponent is kind of loading up their graveyard, so there are a few cards that could be problematic. So opponent might target that with Burn, which is fine. No, doesn't target it with Burn. We'll play the Fairy Guide Mother. Again, we really need to draw cards so badly because we're... Okay, we hit a land, that's good. Opponent does have a response. I'm pretty sure he's gonna burn that. Oh, just bounce it? Okay, that's fine. So, we've got another Shepherd of the Flock. Actually, considering how much offensive spells our opponent has, we'll keep that on top. And I might actually just trade the Fairy Guide Mother for their Brazen Borrower, force them to play a second one. Winged Words, drawing more cards. Okay, so they're not playing Brazen Borrower anytime, the other Brazen Borrower, unless they draw into a land. Winged Words. I think they're going for that one huge Augur. Might be a thing. So play Edgewall Innkeeper number 2. We'll actually play Lovestruck Beast this time. Okay, got our land, and... Okay, we got the mana for Shepherd. So I'm actually gonna swing with these guys. Let's give our opponent... Oh wait, they can't block it anyway. So you know our opponent's probably gonna play something like Kinetic Augur. Brazen Borrower to bounce that. That's actually fine. Stormwing Entity. We're definitely locking that one down. Thank goodness also that's our opponent's first Stormwing Entity. Ironically, we can annoy our opponent. Well, I'll actually just block and let the hit come in. Opponent's so annoyed, probably so annoyed with the Shepherd right about now. Okay, another temple. Yeah, we're definitely keeping the Banishing Light up top. Yeah, well, opponent concedes. Ironically, we got more card advantage. Well, that's only because we just kept bouncing our cards back. So yeah, Shepherd of the Flock MVP. It's a good thing I didn't think of cutting him off. We actually, it took us quite a while to actually get our first win. We never got to see any of we got to see Daxos, but that one did not quite pan out. So how do I feel about the deck? It's not great. It's probably not. It's not gonna replace Temur Adventures, definitely. The mana base is a lot harder there. You have to be playing against a deck that's also interactive. That way you can mess up their plans. If they try to 1-for-1 you with their removal, you have the option to mess it up with either a pump effect or usher to safety. But all in all, it's fine, but it's not exciting. maybe we might come up with a better plan. We'll see. Probably when Zendikar Rising comes along, because it's definitely not going to get any new adventures there. If we're gonna go green-white, you probably want to do a completely different concept. We'll figure that out. Anyway, that's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. You're probably gonna see me do a draft. Probably would have seen my episode on the draft if you check out on the stream. I'm also gonna do the Tinker's Cube draft sometime soon. As always, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone.